Hey, this is a quick review of the Hitscan Hyperlight mouse. This is an 8-month review, so it's been in my hands for several months, and I just gotta get right into it. It's fantastic. Um, for the price, it is pretty hard to find something similar, unless you go for some Chinese brands. Anyway, the reason why it's so great, I believe, is just shape, quality, and materials used, but most importantly, just the whole implementation with firmware and just how reliable and balanced the mouse is in general. So I'll start with the shape. The shape is essentially Viper Mini with a larger hump, and this is, I guess, what ATK Extreme was when ATK kind of stole the design of this mouse when they were producing theirs. But yeah, that's just a debate on its own. The reason why this is unique is because the hump is in the middle, and I thought it was a little uncomfortable, but what that allows is for it to be more versatile when it comes to hand sizes for claw grips. Now, I have fairly narrow and small hands with very long fingers, and I prefer to fingertip my mouse, so that's why it felt a little bit odd. This mouse kind of forces you into a claw grip in a way, but you can also use it for fingertip. Now, the reason why I feel it kind of forces you into claw grip is, again, the kind of the shape and the hump here. It doesn't fill out your hand, but it supports your knuckles, so it kind of supports your the middle of your hand, and also the sensor position. The sensor position is a little forward, and that's what makes the mouse way more unique than you may initially think, because when you grab it, as you can see, the sensor is more or less where it would be expected to be if I grip it for a claw grip, but it is still a little forward, so it kind of makes you grip it a little bit forward, I would say, in a way, and that actually makes it feel very unique. It may seem boring of a mouse, but I assure you it isn't. So the quality is really high with the coating. I love the coating. As you can see, it kind of wore off in 8 months, but I have very dry hands and they destroy all coatings. I mean, the G305 doesn't really have coatings, but look at this. It looks disgusting, and you don't want to see my Razer Viper. That thing was destroyed. So this is holding very well, and I'll get to the sound of the mouse buttons. These are Omron opticals for the main switches, and the metal mouse button is a little stiff, but I would say it's needed. It is perfect actuation force for the fact that it's not the rippiest scroll wheel. It is rubberized and it feels really nice. It's TTC Gold dust proof encoder. The side buttons, they feel very crisp. They feel crisper than most other buttons because they use slightly different switch. I believe it's TTC white, and I'd say they felt too crisp for me at first. You kind of have to be a little deliberate to push them and to press and actuate them, but when you get used to it, they feel just really, really crisp. That's all I can say. This is also the best Omron optical implementation I have tried. Now, one or two issues I can point out are, first, as you can see, after all these months, the battery sticker started collecting dust. It's like one of those ULX, Final Mouse ULX earlier batches that they would have this issue. And Final Mouse fixed it with using a foam sticker instead of kind of this one. I mean, there are a couple ways Hitscan Hyperlight can improve this, like Hitscan can change the sticker to the foam one. Another way to do that is to pre-apply the larger skates. This mouse comes with 2 sets of skates, and they're not pre-applied it's generally a plus, but to be honest, they could just pre-apply the larger ones. Most people use the larger ones anyway, and this would cover most of the sticker. And the little part and the small part that sticks out here, they could just cut it, right? The Hitscan can just reduce the size of the sticker. I think the easiest way, honestly, is to just use the foam sticker. Anyway, it doesn't impact performance. It just looks kind of weird when it collects dust, but that's about it. Another thing that I would really want Hitscan to kind of change in the revision is this part of the shape. It is sharp, right? It just feels sharp. It's not as sharp as the Razor Viper, but Razor Viper was unusable for me while I was using almost, right? Because this part is too sharp, and when I move the mouse, my skin gets caught under it. It gets caught under this ledge. Now, I believe what they could do, they could just slightly change the shape of it or make it less sharp. Now, it is not sharp because of the tolerances. The tolerances here are perfect. If you can see, the seam, you can't even see it, right? It's just the shape itself is like this. And again, the tolerance is great. The quality here is perfect, right? It's just the shape itself makes it, for a pretty unique problem for me. Most people don't experience it, just have pretty thin skin, and that's what does it. Also, when it comes to quality, this is a polycarbonate mouse. That means that unlike, your regular cheaper plastic mice, like I guess like this Logitech G305, which uses ABS plastic, this should be a little heavier and feel much nicer. It just kind of does, feels more rigid. When you try to squeeze it, you just can't. This is 8 months in, and it is like a tank. Like, nothing changed over 8 months. I've been using it every day. One thing that really surprised me, I knew it would be good, is the battery life. Now, this is a PWM 33, is it 3395 sensor? So it is almost a top sensor. But the way they optimized it, it's just so good. This can last 2 weeks. The only mice that I guess have better battery life are Logitech and Final Mouse. I don't think any other mouse can have better battery life than this. Now, I've been using this with a 1K dongle. I didn't buy the 8K one because I believe battery life is a bit more important for me. And it's really good that they give an option for you to not buy the 8K dongle. I would never use it, really. And one thing about this dongle is that it comes with with this wire. However, that USB-C cable is made to work with the 8K dongle and to be more shielded. That's why it's way more rigid, thicker, and as a wired mouse, it's just a terrible experience. So you'd have to use some kind of a third-party cable with this mouse, I would say. So I wish Hitscan for the future revisions would include a thinner offset, like the angled cable that is very soft for the standard 1K option, and then with the 8K dongle, I wish they just included this other cable. I understand why they didn't go for it, because they didn't want to add to confusion, I believe. It's like this cable is better for 8K and the other cable will be better for 1K, so that it will be less shielded and better for wired. Anyway, I understand why they went for it, but still it's a pity that the cable is thick. Actually, I don't think you can hear it, but the only thing that maybe is rattling would be like the actual switch button here, which is good that they actually have it at 40 grams, because most mice at this weight, they just have an actual mechanical, like the actual switch inside, like the internal. So this is already better than most other very light mice. Other than that, this is very solid, right? So nothing rattles, and according to something like Melon FPS reviews, This mouse is very repairable. The only thing you have to be kind of careful with, I believe, is when you take it apart, the side button assembly cable, you gotta be just a little careful with, that's all. Anyway, this is the Hitscan Hyperlight. It is amazing. It feels and looks incredible. I would say the branding is one of the things I really appreciate for some reason, because it just looks so cool. This understated logo with the text. You can tell they knew how to do design. Even the light, when it turns blue, it's just this iconic blue from the marketing materials at the end of 2024 from Hitscan Hyperlight. So it does feel and look really, really nice. And the build quality, well, I would say maybe it's only second to Endgame Gear, along with the coating. The coating, I at first wish the mouse came with grips, because I have very dry hands. No coating works for me. GPX is a piece of soap in my hand. It just falls out. So I owned a couple of those. Those were terrible in my hand. But this is just really good. The shape and the fact that it's seamless, it's solid shell. This part, when you hold it, your ring finger, it just doesn't feel any seams, and it just feels really nice to hold. So anyway, I know it's a little late for a review of Hitscan Hyperlight. It came out almost a year ago, but I just needed to get this through. Other than this sticker thingy and this sharp edge, that's probably only a problem for my own hand. Most people don't feel it. I would say this is one of the best mice at the price still, unless you want to go for something cheap and Chinese. But again, Better Life won't be as good. Software, even though there is no web software yet, I wish it had it. That is the second thing I think they could improve, along with the sticker and the kind of like this sharp edge. But still, the software is really simple. Always works, and the firmware with the battery optimization is fantastic. Like, I mean, I just never have to think about battery with this mouse at 1K hertz. So yeah, I would highly encourage you to try it, because it's way more unique than you may think, because of the sensor position and this somewhat unique hump shape and position as well. And oh my goodness, I cannot stop praising how good this mouse feels in the hand. Just the feel of the material and the solid shell, and the PTFE skates are really good, the ones that come in the box as well. You will probably not need anything to replace them with. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm out.